Counsel Mercia.
Here.
Counsel Milonazo.
Here.
Counsel Rourke.
Here.
Counsel Samaras.
Here.
Counsel Belanger.
Here.
Counsel Elliott. Mayor Kennedy.
Here.
Counsel Leahy.
Here.
Counsel Leary. 7 present.
Council Milonazo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to offer a moment of silence in Dock and Chambers for Joseph D. McCabe, a loving husband, father, brother, and friend. Joe passed away on Friday at the age of 52 after a long and really courageous battle with cancer. Joe was not born here in Lowell. He came to Lowell back in the early 80s to attend the University of Massachusetts Lowell, where he met the love of his life, Brenda Courtney. The Courtney family, the large family in the city, has been here for many, many years. And he met Brenda, and they recently celebrated their 28th wedding anniversary. Joe leaves behind 3 wonderful children, Michael, Madison, and Maxwell. And the reason I thought it was important to bring Joseph's name up this evening as a moment of silence in Dock and Chambers, because in my opinion, Joe, when he was your friend, he was a friend forever. And he's just the epitome of what a Lowellian, in my opinion, is. And that he loved the city. He was a coach over at Ched Park Baseball. He was a coach at girls lacrosse. He just got very much involved in sports here. He was a member of Longmeadow Country Club, where they truly miss him already. And I just thought it was so important because he just epitomizes what people that live in Lowell and love Lowell are really all about. So I offer Joseph D. McCabe a moment of silence in Dock and Chambers. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
The first item on the agenda this evening is under the Mayor's Business and Communication from Dave Heller, the owner of the Spinners, who will address the City Council regarding the future of the Lowell Spinners baseball team. Mr. Heller.
I just wanted to come here and introduce myself and just tell you all how really genuinely delighted I am to be able to stand here and say that I have been entrusted to run and manage your team. And I say that because this team, I've been so impressed in the short time that I've been in Lowell about how deeply ingrained in the fabric of the community the Spinners have become over the past 19 years. And it is very much not only my intention, but my determination, Mr. Mayor, to make sure that this team remains and even becomes even more ingrained in the fabric of this community over the next 19, 20 years. I've bought 6 minor league teams in the course of my life, and I have never had the kind of warm, welcoming reception that I've gotten, first from the manager, from Mr. Murphy, when I met him last February, and then from members of this council and members of this community over the course of this year that's gone by. It's been overwhelming to me, and it's made such an impression on me and on my family, and it's deeply meaningful. Some of the teams that I've bought have been assets that you buy and you sell. I don't see the Spinners as that. I see the Spinners as something that is going to be in my family for a long time, and my deepest ambition is that my 8-year-old son, who is in the mayor's office right now playing video games, is going to one day become the first player owner in the New York Penn League with the Lowell Spinners. I love this team. I love this community. And we are determined to make the Spinners great again. Determined to make the Spinners an organization that each of you and that everyone in this community can be extremely proud of. An organization that is committed first and foremost to the best customer service possible. An organization that is determined to provide the most fun, affordable, family-friendly entertainment that you can find anywhere in the Merrimack Valley. And we're going to do that with a whole host of new promotions and contests and games and things like that. For example, this year, we did the first annual Mega Candy Drop, where we filled a helicopter up with candy, 1,000 pounds of candy in the helicopter, and the helicopter flies over the field after the game, and drops candy all over the field. And as the kids are running out to pick up as much candy as they could possibly stuff in their pockets, the helicopter circles back over again and drops marshmallows all over the children. The kids look up and go, "Oh my gosh, it's raining marshmallows." And we are creating memories. And that to me is what's especially important. That I tell my staff, and members of the staff are here today, our very talented general manager Sean Smith and Brian Lindsay, Gareth Markey, I tell them every day, we are not in the baseball business. We're not in the entertainment business. We are in the memory-making business. And if we can make a memory for a Lowell family, we've done something today. Now we can all go to sleep and feel good about ourselves. We are determined to be successful here. We're determined to make this team even more ingrained in the fabric of this community, to have your team represent your city in a way that you all can be proud of. We're going to continue to improve the venue. When that ballpark was opened 19 years ago, it drew all kinds of oohs and ahs, Mr. Mayor. All over minor league baseball, people talked about LeLacheur Park as one of the nicest parks in all of America. And 19 years later, it's the same park. And none of us would live in a house for 19 years, 20 years, and not improve it. We're going to improve this park. We're going to make it better. We're going to build on what's great, and we're going to continue to build on it each year and offer something new. So every year, people want to come back. People want to see what's new. People want to check out the new experience at LeLacheur Park. And I want this ballpark to be something that's great, not just for your constituents, though that's our first priority, to be sure, but I want this ballpark to be a magnet to attract people all over the Merrimack Valley, whether you come from Methuen or Andover, West Andover, Woburn, Burlington, Acton, up to Nashua. We want you to come to Lowell. And we want LeLacheur Park to be one of the attractions that brings you to Lowell, because I think if we can get people to come to Lowell, they're going to have the exact same experience I had. Oh my goodness, the best people. And as my son will tell you, the best pizza. And as he says, "Daddy, when you have the best people and the best pizza, that's where I want to go." So again, I want to thank you all for opening your hearts to me and to my family, and for making us feel so welcome here. I don't know, Mr. Mayor, I don't know what the legal residency requirement is in the state of Massachusetts, but I know in the city of Lowell, it felt like about 5 minutes before you welcomed me as one of your own, and I'm grateful to that, and I want to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hall. I'd just like to say, on behalf of the whole city council, that first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on a successful season, but also it has been 20 years And Lowell has gotten very used to having the spinners. And it's an important part of the quality of life here, not just for the people in Lowell, but I think for people throughout the Merrimack Valley. And so we wish you all a success going forward, and hope that you have a long tenure right here in Lowell. Because, and I think you mentioned at the Lowell plan that the Lowell Spinners was our team, and that's kind of how we feel about it. So with that, what I'd like to do is present you with a key to the city to get you up. I don't know if this will get you a free slice of pizza someplace, but. The next order of business is we have the minutes of the Educational Partnership Subcommittee for the meeting of September 27th and the City Council meeting of September 27th for acceptance. We have a motion to accept and place on file by Council Work, seconded by Council Milonazo. Discussion. All in favor, all opposed, so voted. I'm sorry, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If we could suspend the rules and allow the first motion, 6.1, to come in, since we have people, Dave Heller here with Sean Smith, so that we could go over and introduce my motion.
Okay, Council Mercier is asking that we take item 6.1, which is a motion that Council Mercier has on the agenda, out of order. So if there's no objection, we'll suspend the rules by general consent. Hearing no objection, we'll suspend the rules to take the City Council's motion. Councilor Mercier requests that City Council support naming the street entrance to the Spinners parking garage next to Lasher Park, Joanne and Drew Weber Way, in honor of them. Councilor Mercier.
Did I get a second here?
Second by Councilor Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a motion that needs no explanation, but I'd like to introduce and remind everyone of the fine job that Joanne and Drew Weber did for the city of Lowell and the surrounding Merrimack Valley communities. According to a Lowell Sun article that reiterates everything that should be said about them, it states that this couple arrived in Lowell as adventurous strangers in 1997. The Webers sold a clothing business in Manhattan that had been in the Weber family for 3 generations, but they were ready to do something crazy and fun. So they bought a short-season Class A minor league baseball team. Summers in Lowell were alive again with fine, clean, affordable family entertainment. The Webers introduced the public to dizzy bat races, tossed T-shirts into the warm summer air, the Canaligators and the Kerouac bobblehead. They brought so much fun to the city, and we can't forget that. Not only did they contribute to the sports aspect and gave us great entertainment on their arrival here, but they gave in so many other ways, donating upwards of $215,000 for local charities since 2001. Through Lowell Spinners Charities and more recently through the Joanne Weber Charities Fund, created in the winter of 2007 following the passing of Drew's beloved wife, Joanne, to a prolonged battle with pancreatic cancer. Drew's commitment to the Merrimack Valley extended beyond Lowell Spinners Charities and the Joanne Weber Charitable Fund, as he has partners with charities including Kids in Disability Sports, the Stenosis Research Network, the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, Challenge Unlimited at Ironstone Farm, the Winter Warmth Program, and many more. But the best promotion that Drew has ever achieved was the Pinch Hit Heroes, a promotion that allowed thousands of underprivileged children from the Merrimack Valley to attend a Spinners game for free. This motion is asking to give a little back. This motion is a way of saying thank you for a job well done. We want to honor your names here by making the entrance to the parking garage aside of the Spinner Stadium as the Joanne and Drew Weber Way. It's the least we can do for an adventurous couple who took a shot and believed in Lowell. Sometimes I make the greatest motions, but they come from the greatest people. I wish that I had thought of this myself because I'm honored to present it. And General Manager Sean Smith asked me, could this possibly happen? And I said yes. My colleagues, I'm sure, would support the legacy of the Spinner Stadium through Joanne and Drew Weber. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion? All opposed? So voted. Next on the agenda are communications from the city manager. We have items A through D this evening. The first one is the Gold Star Families plaque. Any discussion on item A? Counselor Elliott.
Mr. Mayor, if you just make the announcement that the dedication is, we did receive a communication already from Bonnie Deneen and the Garden Club. It's next Saturday, Mr. Manager?
Saturday, October 29th, the last Saturday in October, and it'll be 10
o'clock in the morning.
wait a minute now.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's
well,
October 16th.
Oh, October 16th.
I guess that
thinking of
probably
the
should have
Lloyd.
come under announcements, but
Yeah, it could be, yeah. But this is October 16th on a Saturday.
Sunday.
Sunday.
I just want to call your attention to that, the dedication of the Gold Star Families is on a different date. It's on the 15th, correct, Tom Belgad?
yeah, I thought there
You
were
got all
two
that.
different,
Everybody has that. It's
there
on
were
the
two
15th.
different dates.
It's on the 15th, not the 16th.
Oh, they changed it?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know
when it was
that.
written. So it's in my communication, it says it's on Sunday, October 16th at 10 a.m. It will
Right.
be on Saturday, October 15th at 10 a.m.
Okay,
And
that's
she
fine.
sent all of us an email. That's why I thought it was
But I
important
just
to
want to make
clarify.
sure
Oh,
everybody's fine.
that clears it up. Thank you.
Any further discussion on item A? If not, we'll move on to item B, flooding issues on Laura Street. Any discussion on item B? Hearing none, we'll move on to item C, the intersection of High and Rogers Streets. Any discussion on the intersection of High and Rogers Streets? If not, we'll move on to our early voting. Any discussion on the report on early voting? Counselor Elliott.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have any questions on it, but I think it might be good for the people at home that are watching if we could just get a snapshot as to what this is all about and, how it differs from absentee voting. I think there is a little bit of confusion, but I think I know Ed is here, you, Mr. Manager, just a brief explanation of what early voting is all about. I know there was something in the newspaper today, but.
Thank you. First of all, I have to congratulate Ed Matchak for coordinating this early voting. By law, in the biennial elections, is that you're going to be able to vote 2 weeks early. So people are going to be able to come to City Hall for 2 weeks prior, starting on October 24th, to cast their ballot if they so desire. It's different from an absentee ballot because an absentee ballot is that you have to be absent from the city of Lowell on the day of the election, or you have a physical disability or a religious belief that prevents you from going to the polls. But that isn't the case here. You don't need that. But what you want to do is just you want to vote early so you can come to City Hall. But I think the great thing that Etta Matchak has done is that she's reached out to all of the neighborhood organizations. And for that two-week period, there's also going to be satellite voting in different sections of the city. So if you can't make it to City Hall, you'll be able to make it to these satellite polling places throughout the city. And finally, obviously, it's an additional cost, but Etta applied for help from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and received a $2,000 grant from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to underwrite some of the costs of the early voting. So I think it's a great thing. Ed has done a great job. And people can start voting on October 24th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Manager, and really thanks to the Lowell Sun as well, because they did a very good job on explaining the process as well as listing the locations where people can go and vote. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion on this item? If not, the Chair would entertain a motion to accept the communications from the manager and place them on file. We have a motion by Counselor Rourke to do that, seconded by Counselor Milonazo. Discussion on the motion. All in favor? All opposed? So voted. The next item on the agenda is a communication from the city manager requesting out-of-state travel for one person for the law department. We have a motion to approve. Motion approved by Counselor Mercia, seconded by Counselor Elliott. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Milonazo.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Samaras.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Elliott.
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Leary. 8 yeas.
Next, on the votes of the city manager, we have a vote to increase survivor benefits from $9,000 to $12,000 for,
And he's in Vegas spending it.
per the retirement board. If there's no objection, we'll waive the full first reading and just go to the second reading, authorizing an increase in Section 10 survivor benefits from $9,000 to $12,000 as requested by the Lowell Retirement Board. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion approved by Counsel Rourke, seconded by Counsel Milonazo. Discussion, roll call.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Milonazo.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Samaras.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Elliott.
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Leary. 8 yeas.
Next, we have a vote authorizing the city manager to execute a temporary construction easement agreement for the Reed Street Combined Sewer Overflow Storage Project. If there's no objection, we'll waive the full first reading and go to the second reading, authorizing the city manager to execute a temporary construction easement agreement with New England Advisory Board of the Church of the Nazarene, owner of 51, 55, and 55.1 First Street Boulevard in the city of Lowell. Do we have a motion to approve? By Counsel Mercia, seconded by Counsel Rourke. Discussion. Counsel Mercia.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the, Mr. Manager, this Church of the Nazarene in that area there, Mr. Young, is close to the proximity of the dog park. Will wastewater utilities need the dog park area in the future, or what is the status? Do we have to look for another location, or what are we aiming at here with as far as the dog park goes?
Thank you. We listened loud and clear to you, Counselor, and we've saved the dog park.
Thank you
And,
very much.
Be no impact on the dog park, and Fido can come and play for on and on.
I'm speaking for all those creatures that don't have a voice, so they asked me to bring this motion up to you.
Thank you.
This concern up to you. Thank you. They'll be happy. Thank you so much.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Milonazo.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Samaras. Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Elliott.
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Leary. 7 yeas.
The next item is a vote to apply, accept, and expend the amount of $47,500 from Mass DEP RDP/SMRP grants. If there's no objection, we'll waive the full first reading and go to the second reading, authorizing the city manager to apply for, accept, and expend funds in the form of 2 grants from the Mass DEP Sustainable Materials Recovery Program, totaling $47,500 for use in the City of Lowell recycling program administered through the Department of Public Works. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion approved by Counsel Rourke, seconded by Counsel Samaras. Discussion. All, roll call.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Milonazo.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Samaras.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Elliott.
Present?
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Leary. 7 yeas.
The next item is a vote approving the exemption of Adam Darling from Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 268A, Section 20. If there's no objection, we'll waive the full first reading and go to the second reading, approving the exemption of Adam Darling from the provisions of the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 268A, Section 20. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion approved by Counsel Rourke, seconded by Counsel Milonazo. Discussion on the motion, roll call.
Counsel Mercia.
Yes.
Counsel Milonazo.
Yes.
Counsel Rourke.
Yes.
Counsel Samaras.
Yes.
Counsel Belanger.
Yes.
Counsel Elliott.
Yes.
Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Counsel Leahy.
Yes.
Counsel Leary. 8 yeas.
Next, we have a subcommittee report from the Economic Development Subcommittee on the meeting that was held earlier this evening. Councilor Samaras.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. First of all, we had a proclamation given by the mayor today regarding National Manufacturers Day. Present at that meeting were a number of new companies that are now in Lowell and companies that have been in Lowell that plan to expand. it was, the proclamation was given, the people that were there were very appreciative, and they spoke to how important Lowell is to the success of their companies, so we're very pleased to have that. The next part of the night was a concern about, our discussion about the Lowell Waterways Vitality Initiative Action Plan. It's basically about canal lighting. It's a project to light up the canals, and now, tonight, there was also an inclusion about lighting up buildings and bridges. Presenters were Fred Faust, Paul Marion, James Ostis, and Dan Koff, the designer of the lighting project. In February of this year, about 110 people from Lowell got together with, I think, almost all the members, if not all of the members of the city council, to talk about lighting up the canals. If you talk about lighting up the canals, I mean, I think many of us have heard from our families from the past. People have always talked about what use could we make of the canals. Lowell has been called the Venice of America. The possibility of having gondolas go up and down the canals. Lowell's Sun did an article on when the winter comes, the freezing of the canals, that like the Netherlands, we'd have skating on the canals. There have been many ideas as to what should be done about these canals. And in a sense, little action. But with the assistance of this city manager and the city council and volunteers like that made the presentation tonight, I think the lighting of the canals will be a reality. They talked about the meeting at the Mill 5 at the Luna Theater. After that, they had several more meetings at the Innovation Center of the university, and people continued to come to give their ideas. At present, they talked about now the importance of lighting up the Hamilton Canal District. On September 1st, first night in Lowell for the artists, the Hamilton Canal, the swamp locks were lit up, and it was quite a show. They're talking about lighting up the Western Canal at Ecumenical Plaza. They're talking about the success of the Merrimack Canal at Lucy Lockham that was led by the city manager and this council for Winterfest. It showed what can happen. It talked about the lower locks by the hotel. And it's also talked about lighting up the Cox and Willette Bridge within the next year. This is a project that could cost the city, not the city, but the people of Lowell, between $5 and $10 million. There's no assessment to that cost at this particular point, but there's a great interest to have this done, to see this actually take place. We're looking at developing a 5-year plan. They're looking at including more people to be part of this process. They're looking to establish a commission with the city manager on fundraising. It was exciting to be part of this. The enthusiasm that was displayed tonight it's just sketchy. It really shows what can happen in this city. Fred Faust did speak to the point that he's been part of this process for a long time, but he's been thrilled because the city council has taken action regarding this, that whenever he's talked about to any city councilor, every city councilor stood up to giving him the type of support that they need. So what's happening here, you have a lot of people that have volunteered to work in this project. You have a number of people who have volunteered to contribute to this project, and I think this is something that we will see in the near future in Lowell. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion on the subcommittee report? The chair would entertain a motion to accept the report as a report of progress by Counselor Mercia, seconded by Counselor Milanazzo. Discussion on the motion. All in favor, all opposed, so voted. Next, we move on to City Council motion. Motion 6.1 has already been voted on. The next motion of the evening is from Counselor Mercia. Request that the city manager have the traffic engineer place a handicap parking space in front of the Air Lofts building at 172 Middle Street. Seconded by Counselor Leahy. Counselor Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. May I shock you and say the motion speaks for itself? Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor, all opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening by Counselor Rourke and Counselor Mercia request that the city manager of the traffic engineer place a handicap parking spot at 174 Coburn Street. It needs, Councilor Mercia, it needs no second.
Well, I'll relinquish my time to Councilor Rock.
In the words of Councilor Mercia, the motion speaks for itself.
There you go.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening is by Councilor Samaras, request that the city manager prepare a report.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, could we back up? No, you have to vote for it first. Could we make this a 60-day trial, but it has to go to the, would have to, could we do that now, or is
We'll,
this too?
we'll just have it be a 60-day trial. It's
Okay.
fine, okay?
Thank you.
There's no objection from anybody, so 60-day trial. Council Samaras, request that the city manager prepare a report for the city council regarding a plan on how to create a citywide diversity council, seconded by Council Rourke. Council Samaras.
Thank you, Mayor Kennedy. Everybody knows that Lowell is a gateway city, and we have over 50 ethnic groups who now call Lowell their home. But I believe in Lowell, with the leadership that's in Lowell, I believe we're truly a welcoming city. Mr. Manager, I think you've been doing it right by supporting our flag raisings that we have. Superintendent Taylor has been working in the ethnic community regarding community policing. And wherever you go, when you talk to the various groups, you know that they feel that they're getting the support in Lowell. But I see when you look at problems that occur nationwide, you see many problems. And what you really find out, it's all about communications, and that concerns me. Mr. Manager, we need some help from you to form an ethnic diversity committee that is representative of the various ethnic groups that are now in the city. These are the people who call Lowell their home. I would also ask if you could include people from the university and community college. I have spoken to members of both areas, and they feel that work in this area is what they do, and they'd like to be assist in establishing this diversity committee. The thing that I picture is that this would be a group that would meet perhaps twice a year to talk about quality of life issues. A group of people who will be able to communicate to this city what they see as their needs. When I talked about problems that are nationwide, it's all about communication. I think this diversity committee could help us, as my friend Pat Mogan used to say, take this to the city to the next level when we're talking about community development, when we're talking about giving the people who are in Lowell a voice. Also, if you look at the Working Cities grant that this city obtained from the Federal Reserve, they too spoke of giving the ethnic community a voice in the area that they're serving in the acre section. But I'd like to see this a citywide effort. I think this is something that's a long time coming. I think we are ready to give everyone a voice in this city. We talk about it, but I think we need a vehicle that will help give that voice. So, Mr. Manager, we need your skills, and it's not an easy assignment that I've given you. I mean, how do you establish a diversity council that really does truly represent the people who live in Lowell, give them a voice, and how we can make it work and make it effective? I think this could be a model for the country, because I think a lot of the things that we've done in this city, when it comes to working with our ethnically diverse group, we've done wonders. I would like to tell one little story. At one of the flag raisings, it was a Laotian flag raising, and there was one gentleman who got up and he talked about coming to this country. He talked about what he had to do to get here to this country. And he talked about the streets of this country paved with gold. But the one thing he said, if you wanted the gold that was in the streets, you had to work for it. He talked about working 2 and 3 jobs to ensure that his children had a good education and could integrate themselves into this community. So whenever we go to a flag raising, I think Councilor Mercia can tell you many more stories than I can over the years. But when you talk about what we've done, what we've tried to do, it shows that Lowell's a welcoming community. I just want this to go to another level. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? Counselor Elliott?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a good idea. I guess the only question I have is, how will this diversity council interact or interface with the existing Immigration Assistance Commission that we have? And I know the mayor has an appointment, and the city manager actually sits according to the ordinance. This was adopted in 2010. And I think it's a good idea. I just want to make sure logistically that there's not, any not conflict, but overlap, if you will, and maybe it needs to be replaced. I don't know, but I just think it's worthy. There are 13 members, and 9 are appointed by the city manager, the mayor. It can be a city councilor, with specifically, and the language states that this is to address Lowell's diverse immigrant and refugee population. So I think it's a great idea. I think it makes sense as we continue to see more and new immigrants coming to the city. I just want to make sure that both of them are on the same page and we're not duplicating, I guess is the word I've been looking for. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Counselor Samaras?
No, I just, this council I see should be representative of all the groups that are in the city, so I don't see this as anyone representing each group. But that's why I stated that we've given the city manager quite a task. It's not a simple task to do, but we have to ensure that we have communication to all groups that are now in the city, that they have that opportunity. So I'm looking at something a little different, a little newer, something that speaks to today's issues. Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? All opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening is a motion by Council Milonazo, request that the City Council dedicate the Lincoln Street Bridge to the Durkin family, a family made up of generations of distinguished individuals dating back to 1911, who lived in their beloved Aya City neighborhood and who made great contributions to our city and our country. Seconded by Council Roy. Council Milonazo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's an honor and a privilege for me to bring this motion forward. I do so in cooperation with Representative David Nangle, who has been working on this idea to present this to the city manager. His staff member, Brian Hoey, has been instrumental in getting us to this point this evening. I did pass out from my colleagues a 3-page summary of the contributions made by the Durkin family, beginning back in 1911 when James Joseph Durkin married Margaret Daly, and they started their life at 249 West London Street, which has been really the center of their world for 105 years. So it's just so fitting to name this bridge for their contributions. And if you look at this, and I'll summarize, but if you look at this information that was put together by Representative Nangle's office, there's 170 descendants right now of the Durkin family. They've been war heroes, and they've been normal, everyday people who've contributed to the city and this country. It's incredible to think that 4 brothers were in World War II simultaneously. I don't even believe they allow that to happen today. And they fought for their country. In fact, Brendan Durkin actually was wounded at the Battle of the Bulge and received the country's highest honor. So it is a privilege for me to bring this forward. Of the 170 descendants, I'm very pleased to say that my grandsons, Tyler and Jack Durkin, are among those 170 descendants. And they, I'm sure, as they get older, will pick up the legacy, the great legacy that the Durkin family has brought to the city. So dedicating a bridge to the Durkin family at Lincoln Street, because they traversed that Lincoln Street thousands of times in doing good deeds here in the city. It would be a tremendous honor and really a fitting recognition of their lives and the accomplishments that they've made here in the city. So I hope my colleagues support this motion and will work with the city manager's office and Mr. Bellegarde to put a fitting tribute at the Lincoln Street Bridge for the Durkin family. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion? All opposed? So voted. The next motion of the evening is a motion by Council Leahy. Request that the city manager request DCAM provide a report regarding the closure of the existing courthouses once the Judicial Center opens in the city. Seconded by Council Belanger. Council Leahy.
Thank you. This motion basically just reinforces, apparently, we had a motion a few weeks ago from Council Belanger, but after speaking with a few more people in the city, we should really make sure that, if this building works for us, we should try to go after it. It's my understanding that some of the cells were renovated recently, and, if we consult with the police department, it may be a good fit for us, and we should just let it be known that we're interested in this building before it goes on, when it goes out to a list. I know that there's steps that must be followed, but, as long as we let them know early in the game that we're really interested, maybe if it works out to our advantage, we'll be able to get this. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? Counselor Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Manager, do you know when the consultants that were hired to evaluate the existing police department and come up with a proposal that was astronomical? In the course of that scope, did they evaluate this courthouse or either courthouse? They did not.
No.
And what is the process of disposing of by DCAM? Is it a public process? Is there a offering to the state first and then the city next?
Yes.
Which
They offer it to
thought
any
so.
state agencies first that may have a need for the building. And if there's no state agency that needs it, then they offer it to the local municipality. And then if there's no municipality desires for the building, then it's put on the open market. You can look at the Worcester courthouse went through the same process and eventually was sold on the public market.
So the old courthouse in Worcester, after it was replaced with the new one, was actually sold on the open market. The state or city had no interest
Had
in
no
it.
interest in it.
Okay.
And having been in it, I could understand why. It was very old and dilapidated.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this something, I think this is a good motion. I think it's important to take a look at, knowing that we don't have $100 million, we don't have $50 million. It is a facility.
It has jail cells. It has office space, obviously. It's a good location.
It's a
It
good
has
location.
parking. I mean, I can't imagine a use we would have for the Superior Court, but it is something we could look at.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The next motion of the evening is also by Counselor Leahy. Request that the city manager work with Congresswoman Tsongas's office to find a solution to open up Weston Avenue onto Dutton Street. Second by Counselor Rourke. Counselor Leahy.
Thank you. This, we've all talked about this. We've all had motions, discussions about this, but I was down there the other day after we got some complaints about the parking on Western Ave, just to see for myself what was going on. And what stuck out more than the traffic problems is just that the unwanteds that we don't want in that, the undesirables in that neighborhood. Some of these people, they need help, but they can't be out there, doing what they're doing. So we have Western Ave right there where people are living and doing their artwork, and they've invested a lot in the city and in their section. So again, if we can just try to open talks again with Representative Tsongas's office and really see what we can do down there. Make a world of difference if we could open that up, especially once we do the Lord Overpass redesign and we get the courthouse going. So if we can, anything we can do, we'll just keep marching forward on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any further discussion? Counselor Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through to the manager. With regards to this motion, Mr. Manager, I received a photo on Monday or over the weekend where in this area there's a couple of needles. Where are we with the program of picking those up? And if someone does find needles in a certain area in the city, no matter where it is, what's the protocol? What should they do to get those picked up?
Well, they should just call, they could call the DPW or they could call the city manager's office, and we'll make sure that somebody goes up, because we're equipped to pick up because you want to have the right gloves on and everything. We're also working with our DPW workers to further train them so that they can pick these up in a safe manner.
I know
So
that that Council Mercer
Right.
had asked a while
Yeah,
ago.
we're
So
working on that
Are
right
using
now.
DPW now that's going to take care of this?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
And Trinity Ambulance has a program where they will pick them up. So somebody should contact us, and we'll make sure that the proper person goes, so it's disposed of safely.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Council Mercia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to the city manager. Are not our police vehicles equipped with like a disposable box where you could put the needles in?
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
on
called a
occa-
shops kit, yes.
Right, a
yeah.
shop's kit. I
we-
had the occasion of someone coming into the sheriff's office. We do have a shop's kit, but at the time we didn't, I called the police, and they came and they had that, so that was a good thing, too. And not everybody has one available, a shop kit, but the police would have one in their cruiser.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. The last motion of the evening is a motion by Council Belanger. Request that the city manager update the city council regarding timelines for the following infrastructure construction in the Hamilton Canal District: the Signature Bridge, the Mass Works Grant Garage, the garages, and the land swap resolution. Second by Council Leahy. Council Belanger.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, Mr. Mayor, through you to the manager, I received a phone call from a potential developer that asked me to remain nameless, that where this information is very crucial to bank financing and whatnot, and it's quite obvious, I think you're well aware of that, but it's just timelines. We've got grants, and I noticed the Signature Bridge, we got a ribbon cutting next Tuesday. That was great, in the aftermath of my motion, but the land swap resolution, where are we with that? And the garages is sort of repetitive motion. I know there's been 2 or 3 motions, but now there may be another garage added to the mix into the Hamilton Canal District. So what's the status there? As far as the MassWorks grant, the roughly $5 million to bring infrastructure to the parcel, because no one is going to get financed without obviously infrastructure. So I think we need these timelines out on the table for future developers, so it's out there, and it's something that the council can monitor as the weeks go by, and we can keep tabs on itself. I know it's all gonna happen, but I think I'd feel a lot better, and this council would too, if we had direct timelines, Mr. Manager, so please, at your convenience, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, all opposed, so voted. That concludes the motions for the evening. The city manager has requested the city council retire to executive session in order to discuss the stadium lease pursuant to exemption 6, since public discussion may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the city. Do we have a motion to go into executive session? By Council Milonazo, seconded by Council Rourke. Roll call.
Mr.
Oh, and also we'll be adjourning from
Adjourn
the
from the
executive session.
executive session, yes.
That's it, roll call.
Yeah.
Council Mercia.
Yes.
Council Milonazo.
Yes.
Council Rourke.
Yes.
Council Samaras.
Yes.
Council Belanger.
Yes.
Council Elliott. Mayor Kennedy.
Yes.
Council Leahy.
Yes.
Council Leary. 8 yeas.
And then before we go into executive session, are there any announcements since
Yes.
Councilor
Thank
Mencia?
you. Here's where it gets lengthy. No, I'm only kidding. Surprise. Tomorrow, the Centerville Community Coalition will be meeting at 6:30 at the East End Club. I was notified that they have a free raffle, and the raffle prize is a stay at the Holiday Inn. So this is a meeting tomorrow. And having said that, I just have one more announcement. It isn't actually an announcement, but 3 council meetings ago, we had a vote on this council to accept a 2016 Chevy Express 2500 van, which cost $29,000, and that was a gift from the Friends of the Council on Aging. I just want to, these are my colleagues that I sit on with this committee, and I just want to mention the dedicated work that these people do. And I know that I couldn't vote on this because I'm a member of this, but I can speak on it now. Can I, Christine? Because we're not voting on it. It's already in the past. But I just want to talk about Joe Downs, who's the vice president. This is a gentleman that's so dedicated, that's been on this board for I don't know how many years, right back from the very beginning of its inception. We have Secretary Claire Broder. She's 84 years old. She doesn't even live in the city. She lives in Tewksbury. She is unbelievable, along with another member, Lorraine Mullen, who doesn't even live in Lowell either. She lives in Drake. They are faithful people that go do the 50-50. They do raffles, and all the proceeds, half goes to the person that wins, and the other half goes to the friends. And a little at a time, we prod along and save this money to the point where we are able to defray the cost of ever having any of this stuff on a budget that I know the city and the taxpayers cannot afford, but we cannot forget our seniors. Not only did we get this van through the efforts of these great people here, but we also know that the city is self-insured. We and the Friends got the insurance, and we insured this. It costs like $3,300 more a year to insure this vehicle. We have the directors, Joe Dussault, veteran service agent for the city of Lowell, many, many years. He lives in Drake now. Lenny Gendron, who had his own medical problems, and it never deterred him from attending meetings month after month. This man here has been instrumental in being in charge of the Wednesday bingo. Through that effort, a lot of this money was generated into the Friends. Arthur Tupin, our resident photographer. These are wonderful people that don't get any recognition, but I saved the best for last. This is our treasurer, Jackie Dennison. I could trust her with my own finances. Not that I have much, but she's unbelievable. This woman makes sure that everything in the 501c3 is right on the dime. She accounts for every cent. She pays the fees for the lotteries. When we run a lottery or a bingo or a 50-50 raffle, we have to pay the state a fee to do that. So she does everything by the book. You couldn't ask for a greater person. So these are the people that make up the Friends. These are the silent heroes, in my opinion, that do everything they can to make that senior center functioning. I wish there was an article, not about me, but about these people that give of their time month after month. These people give day in and day out because they're there all the time through the raffles and 50-50, and they're generating a little bit that amounted to about since the van, we have to deduct that, about $120-something thousand. This is amazing. Whatever the senior center needs, we support it. These are the great people, and I thought they should be recognized. Thank you for letting me do that.
Thank you, Council. If there are no further announcements, then we'll just retire to executive session.